All right, guys, so let's have a fun little chat here. So every guitar player, I think, needs to hear this. I just did this poll real quick. I'll drop it up on here if you want to look at it, but I'll basically explain it. You just need to listen. Do you ever compare yourself to other guitar players? And 51% said yes all the time, which is way too much. Sometimes 19%, 8% rarely, and 23% said no, I stay in my lane. And I'll just do a shout out to one of our community members, Luke Doyle. Here's his comment. I thought this was kind of funny. It's a tool to express yourself. Music is a personal thing. Couldn't give a fart. Thought that was kind of funny. If I'm better or worse than another player. Perfect. Great job, Luke. I just care about being a better player than I was yesterday. Okay, so remember, you don't want to compare yourself to other players. You are not behind, but if you keep comparing yourself to other players, you're going to feel like you are. And I think it's normal, all right? So we're going to move through a few ideas. Definitely want to hear your comments. If you want to just hang out and listen, totally cool too. So remember this, comparison might be the most toxic habit in the guitar world. And I did a few videos like how perfection is fake. There's a lot of like negative things that drives this when we compare in the wrong kinds of ways. So here's what's happening too. Think about this. You're comparing your practice room, your practice space, your practice model to someone else's highlight reel, all right? When you open Instagram, a bunch of the names slipped me, but you guys drop in the comments. Who are some of those Instagram guitarists that have been totally exposed? They cannot play what they're presenting themselves as. They're basically fake. What's really sad is that they probably compared themselves and that's all they did to other players when they first started playing, and they went down that rabbit hole of having to feel like they needed to be perfect. Or you open up YouTube, there's a million, like even myself, I've said there's a million guitar YouTube channels on here, and I don't compare myself to any of them because you know why? I'm me, they're them. I teach the way I teach. I speak the way I speak. If it resonates with somebody, great. If it doesn't, there's other places you can go. You see someone shredding. I always laugh. What's the word shredding mean? When I was young, it was a funny nickname. A lot of my bandmates would call me Shredder because I was into all the speed stuff and listening to like Marty Friedman of Megadeth and all the Shredders. Even though we didn't really play that style of music, when you're young, the flash is what really impresses you. And then you realize, you know what? It means nothing in the grand scheme of things. You see someone playing triads effortlessly, right? You see someone improvising like cleanly over changes, like perfectly. I try to be pretty true on here. Like when I make a mistake, sorry, jazz players, I yell the word jazz. Do it in band practice too. It's kind of funny. Or I embrace it. I just say shank. Okay, there's really no mistakes. The only mistake is like stopping, right? But what happens is you see all these things and you're comparing yourself to all these players and there's so much information flying at us and you think immediately, your brain says, man, I suck. Now, I wish I could kind of transport back in time, was be teleport, right? And see how my young self would react in the current world model with all the access to information. And who knows, I probably wouldn't have been as confident of a player as I was, but I'm really feel blessed to have grown up in that time and not have that. I have perspective. So a lot of younger players don't. So drop in the comments how you feel about that. I think it's a hard world to be a guitar player in right now. So remember too, when your brain says, man, I suck, because you see all these people and they're doing things you don't think you can do. What you're actually doing is you're comparing their highlight reel to your practice space. That's not a apples to apples or orange to orange comparison. That is completely the polar opposite. You're seeing their packaged perfection or whatever. Just depends on the person. I really admire people when I see their channel and they mess up and they just kind of laugh it off. I think that's a great confident player. All right, so you don't see the years of bad tone. Like, can you imagine going back and getting a video of like Jimi Hendrix or Jimmy Page or any of your guitar heroes in their first month of guitar? And that'd be kind of depressing as some of them are shredding, but I bet you there was years of bad tone, sloppy rhythm. They're all confused. You don't see the nights they almost quit. Remember what I said? 9 out of 10 players quit in the first year. That's brutal. So if you're going, you're already a winner in my book, right? So in that mindset, quietly destroys your confidence, all right? When you just keep comparing yourself to others. Do not do it. Let them inspire you, right? So what comparison does is it makes you chase instead of build. You're trying to build your systems. I keep saying this. I've even tried to rebuild my system and how I teach and simplify. Now I'm still going to do some lessons that are going to melt your brains, all right? Because I got to push you to greatness. And we're trying to push ourselves to greatness. It's like a team effort. All right, so when you compare yourself to someone else, you stop building your pillars or your systems. What you do is you start downloading more scales. You start collecting more licks, more riffs. You start 10 new things. You finish none of them, right? You spin out of control. Remember I did a podcast a while ago. The whole thing was about don't be a collector, right? You just keep collecting. So when you compare compare yourself to other people or players, you just keep chasing something. Stop chasing, okay? Because then you keep chasing through this comparison process, you stop building. So now building is like mastering triads. You guys know, if you're new here, I apologize now. I hammer triads more than anything, but they're so important. Building means understanding the major scale as the blueprint, right? Everything comes from the major scale. Building means you know that the third determines whether a chord's major or minor. These are all things I didn't know in the beginning. Building means you're focusing on rhythm. Rhythm's just got to be something you build internally. Yes, practice your metronome, play with other people, of course. Build consistency, show up to practice. If you practice for 5 minutes, have a system within that 5 minutes. We've used the word noodling. I know it's kind of been a taboo thing, but it's not really. You know, as long as you're noodling with purpose, which means you're practicing with purpose. So none of those things look flashy, right? But they are the foundation to great playing, okay? So because only you are you. So the only comparison that matters is you versus you. That's it. I always say at the end of every video, most of the times I'll drop in there, only you can stop you, because that's it. The only person that can stop you is yourself. So don't do it by comparing yourself to other players. Look at players you love and then break down, right? Break down and figure out what they're doing on below the surface. Go deeper. Use their playing as inspiration. Trust me, there's players I see on here. I'll say names. I'll just drop one right now, like Guthrie Trapp. A lot of you guys watch his channel. That guy blows my mind. I know he loves triads like I do, so I'm always like getting tips and tricks from him. So I don't compare myself to Guthrie. I'm not Guthrie. He's not me. I'm just using this as an example, right? I could easily look at him like, God, that guy crushes me. But I guarantee if Guthrie got in a room and played guitar together, we would have a healthy mutual respect, and we'd both see things. Oh, I love how that's what a great musician does too. They admire the other musician. Don't compare yourself. Use that as inspiration. So, think about this. Here's some reflective questions for you. Are you better at major versus minor than you were 6 months ago? Have you deepened your knowledge of how the language of music works? I've been doing these daily music theory quizzes as shorts and listening tests for you guys. I've seen it help you guys. I've seen you guys raving about the triads, so I'm going to keep hitting that. Is your rhythm tighter? Are you flowing between chord changes a little bit smoother? See how I'm not talking about, do I change chords as well as John Mayer does? Do I play inverted triads on the EID string set as well as... I'm just saying, I'm not thinking like that. I'm just being reflective with myself. Do you move between, like I just said, chords smoother, scales? Can you go between scales and chords? You just got to build. It's baby steps. Do you understand progressions deeper now? For example... Do you understand in the key of G? Do you understand all the diatonic chords in the key of G? Are you starting to maybe explore shifting to the parallel minor key and borrowing a chord, and your chord progressions are getting a little more creative? Just take those small victories and build on those. Drop the comparing yourself to others, all right? Now, remember too, progress is invisible in a day, but undeniable in a year, all right? So you just have to keep hitting it. And this is how real growth works, right? Baby steps. I'm going to always tell you the truth. Guitar is really hard. Aren't you guys glad that somebody can't show up and absolutely rip on the guitar within a month? It takes years. Okay. Now you can put in a lot of work but you're always relative to where you are. You're always trying to grow, each day. So just try and be the better version of yourself every time you pick up the guitar and put it down, you've grown a little bit. Some growth is not as large as other. Sometimes your growth will be more. Sometimes it'll not be as much. Just a little bit of growth is better than none at all. If you show up, you're gonna grow. Just trust me. All right. And remember too, like, music is not a competition, right? There's no scoreboard, there's no ranking, there's no deadline, there's no guitar police that I'm aware of. There are cover song police, though. Hey, you didn't play that song exactly the way the police did it. That's a video for another day. You guys drop in the comments. You want to do a little cover song police video? Anyways, sorry, I got a little off track there. The only mistake in music is stopping. That's it. If you stop, that's it. That's the only mistake. And remember too, I'm not saying like ignore other players. Like I just said, don't ignore them. Just use them correctly. Meaning when you see someone better than you or you perceive to be better than you, and like, what does that even mean? I mean, okay, yeah, some people have more technical skills and whatever. You don't say I suck. You just say, well, you go deeper. What are they doing? Remember when I said when you play a song, you may know how to play the song, but do you understand what built the song? Find the things that built the thing you're doing. Like go deeper. Like do that for the players you love. Oh, what did he do here? And even those great players, I've seen videos of some of them say, go deeper. Figure out what I'm doing here. Like study it. Add it to your musical catalog. So break down what's in the rhythm technique. How are they phrasing it? Are they targeting chord tones? How are they flowing between chord progressions? Are they using a combination of open chords, triads, different voicings? How are they blending scales? Just things like that. Like, are they playing really simple? How are they using space, right? So don't compare yourself. Oh, they do it like this and I do it like that. It's more of this. Oh, they do it like this. Let me reverse engineer that. And now I will take that and do it like this. I think the one thing you're striving for before we wrap this up, kind of the top of the mountain moment. There's no, the mountain just, there's no ever reaching the top. But one of the goals should be you want to sound like you. So if you keep this mindset and you keep thinking like this, your confidence is going to grow. All right. So take all your guitar heroes, people you admire, don't compare yourself to them, but figure out what they're doing, reverse engineer it, incorporate it into what you do, and sound like you doing it. Does that make sense? Absolutely love this line. Listen to this. I'll read it a couple times. Jealousy is just inspiration that hasn't been analyzed yet. Kind of ties into what I just said. Jealousy is just inspiration that hasn't been analyzed yet. So let that land for a moment. So meaning, you got to turn your jealous. If you feel jealous of something, stop right there and then realize it's actually inspiration. You're not jealous, you're inspired. So reverse that, flip it around, right? Jealousy is inspiration that you just haven't analyzed yet, or you haven't turned into your musical expression yet. That's it. So you're building. Slow it down. You're not behind. You're building. You're building. You're building. We're going to keep building on here. Building takes time. It takes a lot of time, all right? You don't build a house in one day. Well, they almost do. Sometimes in this neighborhood they did, but you stack bricks, right? If you have a brick house. All right? You got to build it slowly. Embrace the pain. Embrace the journey. And like the only way you can really lose is when guitar players quit. They quit right before they stack those bricks. And I feel bad for them because they never got to see who they could become as a musician on the instrument, how it just, listen, great musicianship, it cross-pollinates into every aspect of your life, everything, it just does. All right, so to close this out, do you compare yourself to other guitar players? So be honest, just drop yes or no in the comments. I'll ask that question in the comments. And then let's do this. As a small victory moment, I want you to tell us all one thing that you're better at now than you were 6 months ago or 3 months ago, or it could be a week ago. What are you better at? Or where are you making some gains? Where are you like, oh, you know what? I just switched from that chord to that chord so much smoother. Oh, I'm mixing triads in. I know actually how this triad is made. And so little things like that, okay? And remember, the only way you truly lose on guitar is if you stop. That's it. Just like playing a song. The only mistake is stopping and stop, and you just keep rolling. You turn that mistake into something music. Guitar is a drum set. All right. So listen, keep building, keep growing, keep coming back here. You guys are amazing. We're all learning. We're gonna learn forever. It's not gonna stop. All right, drop jellyfish or your favorite sea creature in the comments. Where are you watching from? All right, see you guys in the next video. Peace.